So, Charles, how's it going? My name is Nicholas Davenport. Today on the Mental Muscle Podcast, we're at the AASP 2024 in Vegas. This is actually the first interview we're doing. We did this last year. We had about 8 people, so I appreciate you, Charles, sitting down.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask you a question. My guy Wagner behind the camera wanted me to ask anyone who walks by in this field, sports psychology or just performance psychology. I like the term performance better.
Okay.
What are you trying to do in it?
What am I trying to do?
What is your goals? Where do you want to go with it?
My ultimate goal for sports psychology, I'm from Buffalo, New York. So ultimately, I want to go back home. I want to buy a piece of my neighborhood, my hood, or whatever you want to call it. And I want to get a building put on that piece of land there. And I want to have my own nonprofit where students 8th grade through 12th grade can come after school type of situation and provide them the resources that they don't have. So it's a lot of talent sports-wise, but we don't have a lot of sport academies. We don't have a lot of grass. We don't have schools are sharing 8 schools share one football field. So
wow.
I want them to be able to come in and get the sports psychology, mental performance type of stuff. If they want to come in and learn how to do music, I want them to come in and be able to learn that. They want to learn how to cook, or they want to learn how to do kind of like a trade, but like it's not trade school. Like I want to be able to teach them how to find their passion, but also I want to lean on the athletics aspect of it. So be able to provide the mental performance piece to them, because that's something that a lot of people from Buffalo, New York, you probably won't even know about it, that they have the talent, but they don't know how to be resilient. They don't know how to, the mental side of the game. They don't have, the money to do something and don't realize that there's resources out there. And I want to make it as affordable as possible. So that's my ultimate goal. As of right now, I'm just trying to get back. I work with the military, so I'm just trying to get back into athletics as a whole. And I more or less want to teach athletes to treat themselves like a business, invest in themselves, and, teach them, bring the resilience piece of it. Resilience is a buzzword, but the real resilience, not bouncing back from adversity. I'm talking about the proactive side of it. How do you use these skills to be able to overcome any challenge you face? How do you thrive instead of survive in certain situations? And I just want to use all of that to once again get to that building that I have and be able to just make better people, better athletes.
That was a very well put together answer. And I'll be honest with you, I've talked to probably dozens of up and coming professionals in the industry, and very few have that clear cut of a goal. And I can relate to that because I'm from South Florida. Probably similar demographics of not a lot of resources in the sense, like we have a lot of resources in the sense of there's stadiums. We don't have that problem. But going back to what we say resilience, I think that hit home with me because I actually do a workshop and it's called Dynamic Mental Health. And I use that same example of it's not just surviving and bouncing back. It's being able to thrive and build that resilience in a way where it's different aspects. Like you said, with the jobs, like I love that aspect because a lot of times sport is the only route. And I don't know if it's a predominantly where you're from, Black community or not.
Yeah. Yep.
So using that example, what is the typical route? Be good at a sport.
Yep.
That's the only way. And I appreciate that sentiment, but I don't like it at the same time because it isn't the only way.
Right.
It should be a tool.
Yes.
I agree, like you said, build it around it. Because if you're the fastest in the neighborhood, use that. If you can jump high or dunk a basketball, use that. But one day, even if you make it to NFL or the NBA, one day that's going to stop, right?
Yep.
So if you teach them how to be culinary or what else you mentioned, like maybe a pilot, or something that it doesn't have to be a doctor or lawyer. That's great though. Yeah. But you said even if it's a trade, it's a trade. So that's a big input. So I like you where you're going. So what would you say would be the probably best route to get there? Not even necessarily in Buffalo, but like as a whole to get to a point where mental performance, especially towards athletes, it doesn't have to necessarily be Black community, but just in general, where we get to a point where that conversation is more readily available as fitness is. Because you don't have to ask a football coach or a baseball coach, go lift. You don't ever have to ask that. But when it comes to mental, it's almost like pulling teeth. And in my business, I've lived this where they look at it like, I like it, but I don't know if I want to pay for this or do this. Even if it's free. Sometimes it's free, they'll be like, we don't got time. So how do we get past that barrier to even get to that point?
I don't know. To get over that hump, I think one, it starts with us as practitioners, us as consultants actually coming together and unifying, because I mean, this is controversial, but it's a lot of gatekeeping. I'm just gonna call it like it is.
We did it. I agree with you though.
But no, I mean in the sense of like a lot of people are scared that if you give a person an inch, they take a mile, and then you no longer exist, or I'm in this niche and I want to keep this for myself because it's about demand, right? And if there's more people doing what I do, the demand goes down. So then now I don't get paid as much or whatever the case is. And this is just me. I got into this because my career ended in high school. I hurt my knee in gym, and I was told because you're on Medicaid, you can't get physical therapy for my severe bone bruise. They said if you would have tore your ACL, you've been good. Severe bone bruise, you're on Medicaid, you're done with athletics. So when I found out sports psychology can be used to help people come back from injury, that's why I do it. I don't do it because, I want to be the richest person. I want to be the best at this, but I do it because these are people, and athletes don't even have an identity outside of their sport. Yep. So if it starts with us banding together and coming up with an idea, how can we get more people to CNPC without breaking the bank? How can we get them mentorship without them having to jump through hoops, like stuff like that? And also just how you package it to people. A lot of times you say mental performance, people are like mental health?
Think psychology.
Oh, no, not mental health, no. So, I mean, it's no one way because it depends on what you're working with. It's an uphill battle, when it comes to the psychological aspect of it. But I think if we keep having conversations like this, broadcasting it, and we go out and we just provide the trainings that show them what this is, and we start at a younger age, even though I'm not, some people don't want to work with youth, but that's the only way you can really get to it, or get to the parents, But it's an uphill battle. I can say that, and I think it's something that's gonna take a team, it's gonna take a village to handle that. So no one person can fix that. So hopefully, with AASP growing like this, we actually see that start to happen.